Hello there guys, welcome to Luna's World, and I've got a slightly different video for you today. We're going to be looking at the default cloud options in X-Plane versus Skymaxx Pro 4. Basically, we're at Molokai in Hawaii, and this is the weather currently. Let me just jump in the cockpit, it's a bit loud. So, as you can see, we've got cirrus clouds, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, a pretty clear day. We've got a little bit of kind of mist over there. But I want to just show you how things are done in default. And then, as I said, we're going to compare them to a payware add-on. So, let's just let's just get rid of this so we can change our weather settings. And we can load these different presets. So, obviously, you've got aviation speak here for different sort of settings, visual, atmospheric conditions. Kavak is complete and utter. You can see for miles. VFR and marginal VFR, you're going to be fine doing VFR flights. The non-precision approach is starting to get a little bit cloudy, and then you've got your different Cat 1 to 3. Stormy, etc. So let's go to the extreme. We'll go to stormy, and we'll just see what that does to the sim. Okay, so as you can see, it's given us some precipitation. We've got some low cloud, we've got some mist, and we've got a storm going on. Let's just jump out. Pretty nasty. As you can see, just do a quick sort of tour around. So poor visibility, a lot of fog and mist, and also it's worth noting that there's not a huge amount of definition between the mist and these clouds. That's all you've got in terms of layers. I can see two layers. I've got white sort of mist and on the foreground, and then I've got these denser kind of misty clouds here. I mean, it's okay. It doesn't look bad at all. Let's jump back in here. If we were, I don't like doing this, but if we were to compare this to, say, the default of prepared without any add-ons, this definitely looks better. It feels better. It looks more natural. However, when you add in Rex Texture Direct and Active Sky Next, it doesn't stand up to it. X-Plane 11 default is a bit disappointing in the cloud department, I think. Let's just try and see if I can show you another. Let's add, I'll tell you what, let's just see what presets we've got. Let's go to a Cat 3. Well, let's do Cat 3. Well, we haven't got any precipitation, but we've got some. Let's add another layer of cloud. Let's do some broken cumulus clouds above there. I'll tell you what, let's put the broken. Okay. What I want to do is do this. Let's try that. And I want to put some broken. Okay, for some reason I can't seem to swap these around. Okay, well let's see what that looks like. Let's just jump outside. Alright, as you can see, pretty horrendous conditions. I do want to lower, get rid of. Let's give us some visibility. Right. Kavak. That should give us a lot of visibility here, but we should be able to see some clouds. Okay, so there we go. So we've got broken clouds and some cirrus clouds. Okay, right. This is what I want to talk about. It looks okay. These cloud textures, however, are not great at all. They're sort of generic, not very convincing. It was the one thing I noticed when I jumped into X-Plane 11. Everything else looked absolutely stunning. The clouds were like, oh man, that's a bit of a letdown. That was my feeling, and I'm sorry to say that because I don't really want to say anything negative about X-Plane because I've absolutely loved it since having it. So, but the clouds, I think we're used to some really fantastic cloud textures in Prepared with Rex and also Active Sky next. So we're a bit spoiled. So that's why I wanted to look at Skymaxx 4 to see what it does to the default textures and how much realism it adds. So I'm going to cut the video here and we're going to fire this up with the same conditions but with Skymaxx Pro installed, and we'll go through the features of Skymaxx Pro so that maybe you'll be better informed as to whether you think you should get it or not. So I'll see you very soon, guys. Hi guys, welcome back, and sorry for the slightly strange angle in the cockpit here, but I wanted to show you the Cirrus cloud layers up there, and if you compare that to what you just saw in the default, I think you'll agree that they look a lot better. Let's just hop outside. Oops. There we go. Really, really nice. I think they look very, very accurate. Let's just pop back in. So, and of course you can change the different texture sets. You can try texture set 2. Let's see what that does. Takes a little while for it to inject in, and then the clouds will slowly morph. There we go. So it's different shapes, different textures. You can play around and get it to how you like it. So that's very cool. So we're going to take off, and I'm going to show you some of the features as we depart out. And I'll try and do this as quickly as I can, with as well as being detailed. But this could well easily end up being a long video, but I'll try not to make it that long. Hope we've got enough room to take off here. It's going to be pretty close. Anyway, let's rotate. Yeah, we're just about okay. Gear up. Alright, so just try and remember, this isn't about the flying, this is about... Why isn't my gear coming up? There you go. This is about the cloud textures, so try and focus on that before you start saying, oh, you didn't put your landing lights on or whatever. Yeah. Alright, so as we... let's just have a look up there. There's some really nice cloud textures. So what I want to do is head out towards these mountains and show you some of the different features. Now we're going to recreate some weather conditions that probably wouldn't normally occur in this part of the world, but that's part of the fun. Okay, so the first thing to know is that you get this really nice user interface once you've installed Skymaxx Pro. The installation procedure, let me just pause it, is very, very simple. You just double click on the icon, you select your X-Plane 11 directory, you tell it where it is, and basically it installs it all. And in the plugins menu you now get this, and this is the user interface for Skymaxx Pro. This is probably the most important slider. This basically depicts how far the draw distance is for the clouds. So if you're flying GA, relatively low altitudes, you want this to be relatively towards the left, because you're going to get more detail with the individual clouds. If you have it all the way up here, then you're going to get a more general sort of view that would be better suited for high altitude flying. And it's much more realistic if you're flying high altitude to have it set to there than it is to here. But it's the opposite if you're flying, like I said, GA and lower altitudes. So that's really important, and it states that in red pen in the documentation that that you get. So that's worth bearing in mind. I'm going to go through some of these pretty quickly, and then we'll get into basically showing you what it does in reality. So these are different cloud puffs. You've got fast, which basically refers to the performance aspect. So that's probably the least detailed. You've got soft, which is wispy and more soft, and then you've got crisp, which is higher resolution and better detail. So I've got it set to that for now. Crepuscular rays or God rays, you can intensify that. I don't know, we'll leave it there. These are your different cirrus layer resolutions and textures. So I've got it set to high, and then you've got 1 to 6 different texture sets. I don't know, we'll try 3 this time. Sky colors are, if you've had Skymaxx Pro before, then this will be familiar to you. You can select different colors for the skies. You do have to restart the sim, I believe, for this to take effect, so we're not going to mess around with that, but it's something you can check out. Cloud reflections I've got on just because I like the look of it. You do take a little bit of a performance hit, but it's worth it for me. And then this is, I think, a pretty important box here. So this tells you about the different representations of the overcast. Now we're gonna mess around with this for quite a bit of the time of this video. So let me just apply this solid stratus form. We're going to apply that. Now nothing's going to happen because we haven't got any overcast clouds depicted in the sim. So we need to add that in here. So we'll add a layer. You've got to make sure that the real world weather is turned off because you won't be able to do any of this. We're going to add some overcast, and we're going to delete this layer here because we don't need that right now, and we're going to we don't quite need it that tall, but we're going to bring it down to about, starting at the base at about 2,000 feet, so about there. That'll do. Apply. Takes a little bit of time for it to come in, and then I'll unpause. Now as you can see, it's put this sort of thick slab of dense cloud over the in the sim. So let's just have a look outside. This is, so that, let me just go into this. This is what we've selected. So it's solid stratus form. This is the best performing selection you want for overcast. So if you've got a relatively slow machine, then I would say go with this. The other reason to go with this is to practice IFR flying. So if we, let's just go back into this. We'll fly up into the clouds. You'll see there's no real layering. You basically go into the cloud and you see nothing, basically. It's just thick cloud, and you have to rely entirely on your instruments in order to fly. So if you've got a slow machine, or if you want to concentrate on IFR flying, then that is a good setting to use. It's not the most detailed, it's not the most realistic in a sense, because there's no sort of texturing here. It is what it is. And there we go, we're in the cloud. It's dark, thick cloud. You can see light through it a bit, but the further into it you get, like if we look now, you can see that the colors are changing as we go further in. And then if this was a thick cloud layer, then we can see the light coming through from the top of the cloud. But if it was thick, it would just be that darker sort of color through the whole layer. So very cool, very good to practice IFR. Let's just come out of the cloud again, and you'll notice when you go in and out of the cloud, it's pretty brutal. You're either in it or out of it. There's no blending, or very little. Come on, let's get out of this cloud. Any second now, hopefully. Let's just expedite this a bit. Sorry guys, bear with me. Here we go. So there is a little bit of blending, but then it's like you're out and you're in it. So let's go back here. Actually, I just want to set this to here for now. Right, so let's try broken stratus form. Now, you'll see instantly that what this does is this gives us a bit more detail on the lower part of the cloud. And let's put us back in. So hang on. Let's just come out of it. And we'll just look at this from the above. You'll see there's more detail. So instantly you've got a more bumpy sort of effect here. Let's just pause that and go outside. And not only that, you've got these sort of gaps, these little streams of light coming through. Pretty nice. I like that. It's again, you'll get more of you'll get a slight performance hit because of that extra detail. But the transition between going into the cloud and out is exactly the same as the solid stratus form, but you just get this more detail and the bumpiness. I like that. I think it looks great. Let's take it up another notch. HD cloud puffs. Now this is what you'll see, individually drawn clouds from a high resolution set of textures, and it takes some time for them to fully form. Alright, so let's just pause that and have a quick look outside. So you'll notice that that whole layer is dissipated and we've got individually drawn clouds now that are highly detailed, and we've also got integration into the underlying terrain. So this cloud, for example, is sort of sitting on, you can't quite see it, but if we were around there, it would blend into the terrain there, which is very nice. We've got this issue here, the rings, is an X-Plane 11 issue that will be sorted once the beta is released. So my only issue is that when you go into the weather here, we've got overcast. Let's just increase the thickness of this then and see what happens. But to me, it doesn't look overcast. Let's just see if that has changed anything. I'll unpause it. Okay, the clouds are slowly forming. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's just, maybe I need to add more layers in. But that doesn't give me the sense of an overcast layer. So let's just try, let's add another layer in. Let's just see what that does and see if that helps, because it may be because they're individually drawn that you need to add more layers. Okay, but there's more of them, I think. But again, it's not really overcast. It's very nice, don't get me wrong. It's very realistic looking. Let's add another layer. Oh, I've lost a layer. That's bizarre. Alright. Let's try that. Because I think because the clouds are individually drawn, that you need to add more layers in order to get more cloud, basically. Okay, starting to feel a bit more overcast, I suppose. It looks splendid, it really does. I don't know if that comes across well in the video, but certainly from here it looks and feels really nice. Okay, so let's go to the most intensive setting for your Stratus and overcast representation, dense particles. Now this is, well, it's just higher resolution and much more realistic. The individual clouds just look Superb. Let's just jump outside. There we go. Higher detail. And you get all the cloud effects as you go through them. Let's just try and head up into these clouds here, and you'll see the effects that happen as you go through the clouds. So we'll jump into the cockpit. Oops. We're about to stall. It's not about the flying, it's about the clouds. Alright, so as we go through, you'll notice that we get wispy clouds coming past here, and you'll start to notice shakes and things in the cabin. Really good stuff. There we go. You can see wispy clouds there, and as we break into the cloud, it's just very cool. It's very realistic. Feels like you're actually flying through a cloud. You can feel the bumps almost. Like it a lot. And we'll jump outside. Okay, so there we go. So that to me looks really nice. I hope that's given you a good indication as to what that is all about. I'm pretty much going to keep it on that, I think, unless I'm doing IFR practicing, and I'll probably have it on, probably broken actually, because that gives you a little bit more detail. Right, now onto this. So shadow intensity, let's just whack that up and let's see what happens. So I'm looking over in the water sort of area. Yeah, so it basically increases the darkness of the shadows here. That looks pretty weird, and of course it's depicted here on the fuselage. Let's just okay, all right, that's quite enough of that. I don't know quite why you would want to do that. That doesn't look particularly good in my opinion. So what we'll do is we'll just have a smidgen of that on and see what that does. I think that should give us a more realistic, well, definitely on the fuselage. And yeah, it's taken away to some extent that weird. I think they've got a bit of work to do on the shadows here. I'm not convinced by that. I don't know whether that's an X-Plane 10 issue or a Skymaxx Pro thing, but yeah, that streaky sort of thing. I don't know. Looks a bit odd to me, but that's okay. What I want to do now is show you this feature here. So one of the great things about this, and again, there's a warning here that says if you increase this, you're going to lose performance. So it's set at 0. Now this is about blending the softness of the clouds into the terrain below. So let's whack this onto 100 or 1000. And bearing in mind you do get a performance hit. I haven't noticed a huge hit personally, but what that does is it blends in the clouds in a much more realistic and softer way. So you get these sort of in the valleys here, you get the clouds spilling in to the terrain, which is really nice and realistic. So let's just so hopefully you can see what I mean there. And it's just it's just lovely. It just works really well. There we go. I'll just change something there, but you can see it sort of here. Oops. Lovely clouds out the window there. Superb stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. terms of trying to fly this. Oh, I've broken the flaps, that's why. I'll tell you what, let's just pop into a different aircraft. We'll just go into the Skyhawk. Okay, I'm just going to start some new flight, that's alright. And I'm going to increase the fog and just see how that blends in. And then we're going to take a brief look at the precipitation. And then that'll be my sort of summary, really. We'll summarize it at the end, and we'll go from there. So, just for fun, let's just increase. Let's go Foggy. Okay, so the first thing is that it's not. I don't think it's overdone at all. I think that is really nice. To me, that looks absolutely great. Really happy with that. Let's just see how it depicts as we get higher up. Really nice, smooth blending there. Very atmospheric. Like it. I think maybe it's a little bit much. Can't see much, so we'll just customize this. Interestingly, it hasn't changed the visibility here. Let's try that. Okay, that's a bit better. So we can see some detail now on the ground. But again, the blending in the distance and the way the light comes through, I think it's really nice. I really do think that that's, well, just much better than default, putting it bluntly, putting it lightly as well. Just jump outside. There we go, pretty nice. Okay, so let's add in some precipitation. And actually we'll go back, we'll get rid of the fog now. And broken clouds, that'll do, but we'll add in some rain. And we'll give ourselves some good visibility. Make it a little bit stormy. Heavy rain, heavy storms, there we go. Alright, let's see what happens now. Unpause it. Okay, so we've got some big old clouds, highly detailed. We've got good visibility, which is nice. I like that effect. And let's have a look at the precipitation, because there's an option in here to change all this stuff around. So we can change the appearance, the size of the raindrops down to very small, which is kind of like how it is in the default, because you can't really see it. And then you increase it and it looks heavier, etc. You can also mess around with the brightness, which will affect how much you see. So if you whack this all the way up, it's going to look like you're in a monsoon. Maybe not that realistic, but that to me is pretty nice. Now, here's the default. Again, so you can hardly see it. You really do have to get at the right angle. So I'm not convinced by that. I'm also not convinced by this. So again, I'm just going to increase this so you can see it. So can you see that it's just falling kind of vertically down? We're a traveling, moving object, and that just wouldn't happen. You would get, motion in the rain. So that's why I have it checked on this, because that to me is more realistic. You've got the fact that the rain is you're flying into the rain in a sense, so you get that sort of streakiness. So that's cool. You can tailor that to however you want, and it's all good. And I just wanted to try this. I know we're in Hawaii, but let's just say we had a weird time where the temperature dropped suddenly down to -15, and I'm wondering if that's going to depict snow. And I'm not convinced about that. I think that's still showing as rain. It's a bit weird. Yeah, this has gone back up to 15 degrees. Don't quite know why that is the case. Maybe that's a bug in X-Plane 11. I'm guessing it probably is. That should stay where it's set because I don't have this checked. Anyway, I guess what we could do, if you don't mind waiting for the load, we could change our location. We could go. Let's go to Alaska. Oh gosh, I don't know. Let's at least have a 3D. Oh, you know what? It doesn't really matter. Cartes airstrip. There we go. So we'll just wait for that to load. My general view is that I think Skymaxx Pro is excellent. I think it's a must. I think it really adds a level of realism that goes way beyond the default. And I think if you want that, I haven't got the scenery installed. Okay, let's choose another location. I thought I did have that installed. Anyway, maybe it's too far north. English Bay, let's try that. For $38 or whatever it is, I think it is about that. I think it's excellent, and I really do like the way it all works. It's just sort of quite seamless. And okay, that looks more like snow to me. Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's just. I'm still saying it's 15 degrees though. Oh, that definitely looks more like snow, but I'm not sure. It's showing 58 degrees Fahrenheit here. So that, I'm assuming, let's just see if it's gone back. It has. I think that's a bug, unless I'm doing something wrong, and if I am, then tell me. I'll tell you what, we could try this actually. Well, there's no precipitation. What's the temperature? 25 degrees, so that's more like it. Let's just let that do its thing. We'll see the barometric pressure changing. We've still got clouds in the sky though. Oh no, there they go. Alright, so that's real world weather. That's what's happening right now in English Bay, Alaska. So now let's see if we can do it this way. Let's just do that and see what happens. Still showing 50. I don't know. That's probably a bug, guys. It's maybe not working. But anyway, I think I'm going to wrap things up. Like I was saying, I think Skymaxx Pro is excellent. I think that there's still maybe a little bit of work to do between X-Plane 11 and this. X-Plane 11 is beta, of course, so there is going to be issues. But as a standalone product, I think this is excellent, and I think it's well worth the money. And I'm not sponsored by, this video isn't sponsored at all. I purchased Skymaxx Pro version 4 myself, and this is my personal opinion of it. I would never fly without it, basically. I think it's excellent, and would highly recommend it. But that's my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think. I hope this video has been informative, and as always, please like and subscribe. Appreciate your support. Thanks for being here. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.